Okay, October 5th, 2018, live day trading. Scan, survey, submit. My mission for the day, same every day. I always have to repeat my rules. I always have to repeat what I'm doing, put myself in the right mindset. So yeah, I'm scanning for stocks. I have an initial criteria that I'm looking for, volume, volatility that I need to see, and I want to see those stocks pop up on my scanner. And then those are going to be the only stocks that I trade from. Then I'm going to survey those stocks, right? I'm going to use technical analysis, going to determine support, resistance, going to be looking at different chart pattern setups and determine trade entries, buy, sell, trade entries. And then when I see a trade, and this is the most important thing, I have to trade on, setups that can be repeatable because I'm collecting data. And I want to be able to run things through my algorithms and say, this is the trade I got into. This is exactly why I got into the trade. This is, and be able to go through and look at 100 of those types of trades and see the probabilities of that trade setup, whether it's support and resistance trade, a VWAP trade, a bear flag, bull flag trade, whatever the trade setup is, it has to be exact. I don't want to be guessing. Because it's way too hard to run data on random trades, right? As a trader, I want to be consistent, and I can't have consistent results if I'm trading inconsistently. If sometimes I'm taking this kind of trade, that kind of trade, and it's never really, and in those trades, let's say I have a great trade, but I don't really know why I got into it, and I can't really repeat it. What's the point? I want to do trades where I don't even have to think about it. I know the setup. I just get in, and then I can also know the probabilities of that setup. So right now, and I tell myself this every morning, strict routine. I'm up at 4. Excuse me, got a little something in my throat. I'm up at 4 every morning. I work for a couple hours. I'm either working on my algorithms, I'm working on my application that I'm building for trading. I'm researching trades. 6 o'clock, I'm usually refreshing my coffee. 6:20, I'm sitting down, getting in the mindset. 6:30, I'm going. Do the same thing every morning, every routine. Repeat to myself what it is I'm doing. I'm scanning. I need to look for stocks, and then I need to survey the charts for opportunity. And it's not about winning, right? This is a paper trading account. I was live trading for a while, but now I'm paper trading so I can collect data. I need to collect data. I realized my edge wasn't great, wasn't really there too much, so stopped. I'm not going to lose money. Why lose money when you don't have to? If you don't have an edge, you don't have a verifiable edge, you should not be trading real money. You should not be losing money if you don't have a proven system. And I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on trading education, so many people claiming to give you a system, and the reality is a lot of times it's just their marketing. There's not really a viable system there. It's just a bunch of opinions and ideas, and there's no probabilistic edge where it says, hey, you do this. I've done this over 1,000 instances of this trade. It's got a 63.7% accuracy rating, and you'll get a 2.5% return on your risk, and there's some kind of verifiable trading statistics, and I've taken courses and there's never that. It's always like, oh well, here's a bull flag, here's a VWAP, here's and I repeat myself a lot, and the reason is I have to solidify in my mind why I'm doing this, right? Because I like trading with live money. It's, I guess, for lack of a better word, it's more fun. But I'm here to work. You know what I mean? Not just to have fun. So paper trading isn't always as fun. It's not always exciting, whatever. But I'm collecting data. That's the whole point. So let's see. GE is really, wow, look at that. 10 million shares. No, 11. We're up to 11 million shares, and this thing is just going. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Kind of scan it through. For some reason my scanner isn't working quite as nice as I was going to hope. It kind of reset on me. That's weird. All right, well that's it with live trading. Sometimes it just, that's what happens. So let me try to find a workaround here real quick. Reset this. Yeah, sometimes in live trading you have hiccups. It doesn't always work as planned. Okay, this is one of the ones that was on my scanner. That wasn't. That was one of the ones that was on my scanner. So now I have to manually and try to find the trades that were meeting my scanner settings. And only 2 are showing up. So let me redo this. See what else shows up here. So right now it's GE, SGH. All right, I know there's going to be some more that are popping up. I had a list of about 5 or 6 symbols on my scanner I was looking at, and then they disappeared on me. So that's okay. I mean, that happens sometimes. It's easy to get frustrated. You're live trading, and all of a sudden something happens with the software. You know what I mean? Or you lose internet connection, or some kind of frustration. You really just have to go, oh well, who cares? And it's just you just move from there. You can't really just is what it is. Let me go ahead and do this again. Okay. GE. I don't see a lot I can do there. You know, I see this, right? Big strong run up, and I'm thinking, you know, that's huge. Like that volume right there. I mean, 5 million shares pushing it up. So what would be my entry on this? I'm not going to buy it up here. However, it's 5 million shares. That was the candle right here that really seemed to ignite what was going on as far as the upward movement. So that's, you know, sometimes when you're doing technical analysis and you're looking at these big picture, but sometimes you got to just narrow it down to one bar and see what was the bar that really ignited the move. Well, I need to take some notes here. Okay, ignite. Yeah, so this was the bar right here. It came in with a ton of volume. It had good movement. This is the bar that really seemed to ignite this move up. All the sellers got sucked out, and now it's just being pushed up with millions and millions of shares, right? 2 million, 1.6, 1.9, 1.2. I mean, there's just millions of shares going in right there. So what I would look to get, let me see. I like this area. If it comes down back into this ignition area, I can only take about a 5-cent stop because the range on GE is only 44 cents today. And I always like to take between a 10 and 20% stop. So if I got in 30, so I'd have to get in at 302, and then that would give me, okay, so I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to set a buy order, come down here, 302. I'm going to set, let's see, what's the max stop I can set? 448. Yeah, about an 8-cent stop. Again, it says shares here, but when I run it through my program, it knows to convert the shares to actually my stop. So that's what. So I'm gonna set it right there. Now it may just come to this VWAP and bounce off the VWAP. Let me go back through these and see. SGH already have on that one. GE. Oh, FT. Okay, so this was another one that should have been on the scanner. What else do we have here? It's another one that should have been on the scanner. These little blue marks here, These kind of indicate the ones that would have shown up on my scanner. So that's how I have a scanner to automatically do it, but if I ever lose connection, see, I have redundancy, right? I have a backup. If something happens, I can quickly scan through and start picking out. It's not ideal. All right, well, there's about 5 stocks right now I can look through. Now, what may make me want to move my entry up? You know, this could be possibly a bull flag pattern, right? There's strong volume underneath it. So if it consolidates a little bit right here, it tried to push down, wasn't able to get much, then that would be possibly a buy area. But the question is, where do you put your stop? Where's a repeatable place where if I saw this trade again a month from now, I could put my stop and go, hey, this is what I'm doing. And that's all stuff I'm still working out, you know, but it's important. That's the goal. That's the goal, is to be consistent, is to know exactly where I'm going to put my stops, my entries all the time, every time. And that's why I'm trying to collect this data to see what's the most viable trading strategy that I can have repeatability. I've seen so many live traders, and it's like they're always doing something different, you know, or they're varying. It's like, well, yeah, sometimes I go for a 2-to-1, sometimes I go for a 1-to-1, sometimes I set my stop here, sometimes I set my stop, and maybe that works for them, and that's great. For me, it just doesn't work. You know, maybe I'm just slower than the average bear. I don't want to be thinking about what I'm doing. I just want to do it. I want it to be like a mental reflex. Yeah, people, you know, having a mental reflex for me is really what it's all about. It's like when I'm driving, right? Okay, when you're trading, you're looking for signals. You're looking for buy signals. You're looking for sell signals. And let's see if that tags me in. That might tag me in right there. Buy signals or sell signals. And you don't want to have to think about the signals. If you have to think about it, then you probably aren't doing very well. It's like driving, right? If I see a signal light and it's red, I don't have to think about that. I just stop. If it's green, I just go. There's no thought process. It's just a mental reflex. Like, I've done it so many times in my life, I don't even have to think about it. I want my trading to be the same way. I want to see my setups. I want to see the analysis, the technical analysis, and just look at it and just say, hey, I already know this is what I need to do, and not even think about it. All right, so this is coming down. We're going to see if it's going to hit. I have an 8 cent, which would put my stop right here at 06. We'll see what happens. Looks up, it's at it, but for some reason it's not filling. Okay, don't know why it's not. Okay, finally filled. And it might just go right through it, man. So I got in at 02, which would mean my stop would be 04 or 94. Come on, where's it at? Why is this not? Okay, something's. CTC is just not working out that great for some reason. It's not unable to place order. Problem modified. And this is kind of the stuff you deal with sometimes when you're live trading. See, look at that volume picking in right there. That volume. So it shows me that other people were looking at that as a similar buy area. I may have my stop too tight, I don't know. But I mean, that volume came in right there, and what created a tail that shows me that other people are also thinking of this as a buying area. And I called that buying area from way up here. Again, because of this volume bar right here led me to believe that. May not work out, but at least that's a repeatable trade. I mean, I can do that trade 100 times over. And that was more of a mental reflex trade. I didn't have to think too hard about that trade. If you find yourself, one of the rules I created for myself a while ago is if you have to think about it, don't trade it. Because if you have to think about it, that means you probably don't really know what you're doing. And if you don't really know what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it when it comes to trading. It's like, again, like driving, right? If you have to think about what a stop sign means, you probably shouldn't be driving. If you have to really think hard about, what a yellow light means, if you have to think hard about what, red and blue lights and a siren behind you means, like if you have to think about what all these things mean, you shouldn't be driving. And I think it's the same thing with trading. If you have to think really hard about, God, should I get in? What should I do? It just means you don't have edge. Then you need to go back to paper trading. And that's why I'm paper trading. I was thinking too hard. I didn't have it figured out. It wasn't reflex. So you need to have the mental trading reflex where you don't think, you just know. And that only comes with experience. That does not come from taking a couple day course or a month course or being quote unquote mentored by some guru on the internet. I mean, that only comes through experience, sitting in front of the charts day after day after day after day after day. I don't know if that's going to keep going. Looking for other possible. I'm not seeing a whole lot. This RDSA, I don't like trading it. I'm going to get out of there. I think that's like an ADR stock. This FTNT. Previous days area was 88, pretty much 88.50. I'm going to set an alarm right there because I'm interested to see what happens when it comes up to that point. So I definitely picked a level other people are interested in. So that's something, I guess. Again, GE, hold on a second. Let me see here. So GE is one of those stocks you can take a ton of shares, right? These low float guys, I don't mean to harp on them, man. I just see a lot of garbage, in my opinion, when it comes to low float. They talk about taking, 10, 20,000 shares. That's cool. I mean, the GE, look, there's over 1 million shares in these candles. Okay, that one's out down a little bit. But a lot of these, if you look, 5 million, 2 million, 1 million, almost 2 million. I mean, you could take 20,000 shares, 30,000 shares. It's a $13 stock. Okay, this has me nervous a little bit. So it's engulfing, right? It tried to make up, went to VWAP, couldn't make up, shot right back down. This is going to be a war right here. People are definitely battling. I'm in the war. Well, yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. I don't want to focus too much on this one stock. Let me see what else we have here. Okay, let me go ahead and get these out of here. I've already went through those. Okay, that one didn't hit. That one didn't hit. Oh, RDSB. Let me actually get that out of the way. Oh, UBS. Okay, so that was another one that should have been on the scanner. Okay. So right now I have 5 stocks. This is not looking pretty. This is not looking pretty. Definitely has kind of this descending wedge. This volume right here, it really is. Look how much it's held right there. That volume is really kind of supporting all this. Is it going to make another run up? I don't know. You know what? I didn't even set my my profit target. 8 cents. I'm looking at 16, so I'm looking at getting out at 18. Right there. Right there. Right? Not too much. Not looking for too much. Nice 2-to-1. Let's see. Wow, this one really tanked pretty hard. But yeah, the huge volume you're able to take, which is pretty nice. Once you figure out the edge, right? Once you figure out the probabilities, once you know how to trade stocks like this, which I don't yet. That's why I'm doing this every morning. That's why I'm building these algorithms. That's why I'm building the app that I'm building right now. Is a trade management simulator app, basically. So basically I would put in my trades and it would just tell me like where the best stops would have been for each trade type. Stuff I can do manually just takes for friggin' ever. So there's no volume. So these are the other things, the other probabilities I need to work out, you know, when to get out of a trade. Right now, because I want to be consistent. I need to be consistent, right? So I set my stop and my profit exactly the same every time I trade right now. I set my stop, and when I say that is I mean the ratio, right? So this is my risk unit. My risk unit right now is 8 cents. My profit target is 16 cents. Do that on every trade. I have my profit as double whatever my risk is. It's just 2-to-1 profit to risk every time. It's not always 8 cents. I mean, that's going to depend on the chart, but and I'm going to run through the analysis, right? I'm going to look through all my trades and maybe my stats will tell me, hey, you know, if you haven't reached target after 20 minutes, you have a 70% likelihood of not reaching your target or whatever that stat is. I don't have those stats right now. That's what I need to build. I don't have, and how many traders, they don't have any kind of stats. They just know, oh, well, I guess, you know, I'm 70% accurate okay, well, that's fine, but I'm looking to refine everything. Incremental changes. How do I, you know, I need to know when should I get out of a trade, you know? If trade hits VWAP 5 times and it still hasn't reached your target, you got a, you know, 80% likelihood of it not going up to your target or something like that. I mean, those are the stats I'm looking for. Those are the probabilities. Technical analysis is cool, but that's kind of just like the beginning. Technical analysis is like your roadmap. Hold on a second. Let's see. Take some notes here. All right. So yeah, technical analysis is your roadmap, but it's not going to show you how to drive. You know, if I wanted to drive to New York, I can get a navigation that'll tell me how to get there. It'll show me the direction, right? But it's not going to show me how to put my foot on the gas, how to use the brakes, how to, you know, drive through snow or whatever. And that's what technical analysis is. It's a roadmap, and it gives you some ideas, but it doesn't. That's all it does. Right? It doesn't tell you how to enter the trade. It doesn't tell you how to, you know, where to place your stops or your profit targets. I mean, that all comes with experience. So I really like to focus on technical analysis, but there has to be an understanding and realization and have the proper expectations. That's just the start. It's just the start. Knowing how to read chart patterns, knowing how to read entry setups and all this stuff. I mean, that's one thing, but knowing how to get out of trades is probably more important than knowing how to get into trades, at least to some degree. Yeah, this is I don't know what's gonna happen. See right here, if I was going to 1-to-1, I'd already have my one. My you know, profit to loss 1-to-1. And maybe for this type of setup, that's the probabilities would dictate that a 1-to-1 would be a more profitable strategy than going for 2-to-1. Maybe on 1-to-1, I could be 80% accurate, as on 2 to 1 maybe I'm only 30% accurate. I'm not sure. That again, that's what I need to run the stats, right? I don't have to think about that stuff. I should just know it. As a trader, you should just know what your stats are going to be, when to get in, when to get out. If you have to think a lot about it, if you're getting frustrated, you know, maybe there's something else going on. Just keep scanning through this. Let's see. The reality is, the way we're wired, we suck at trading. I mean, just the way your mind is wired, it's not conducive to trading at all. And that's why it's so hard. That's why it is so hard. It is hard to let profits run. It's hard to take losses. Keep scrolling through here. Not a lot going on. I see this. So, well, I don't like this VWAP. There wasn't a big break from this consolidation. So if it consolidated here and then it really broke hard, I think that would be cool, but it just kind of just meandered, kind of limped along. This has only got 300,000 shares. I'm just going to knock this off my list. I don't want to look at it anymore. See if there's anything else that I missed. Nah. 30 million. Look, may hit it. May hit my. Wow. There's not even a trend there. It's just a plummet. Like, wow, look at this thing. High crush partners. High crush, what the hell is that? I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna look that up. High Crush Partners LP. Dry plant operations is YL facility above. Wet plant remains. Wet plant, dry plant. I don't know. Whatever. I don't feel like spending that much time on it. I'm not going to trade it, so who cares? Uh-oh. It's, you know, trading before, I'd see this and it'd be so close to my my profit target, man, and I would just take profits early because I'm like, oh, it's there, and I don't know. This stuff doesn't bother me now. Just sit there and be patient, and it really has nothing to do with, you know, live trading real money or not. To me, trading real money and paper trading are very similar. Because I'm not as concerned about the money. To me, it's just about being right or wrong, right? To me, that's where the emotion comes in. Let me see. People say, oh, you got to have real money on the line and all of this stuff. And I guess maybe to some degree that's true. But first off, I never traded with more than, well, I shouldn't say never. When I first started out, I took some bad advice from one of these chat room guys and was trading with way too much. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But when I started listening to what pros do, I started reducing my share size where I'm only risking 1% to 2%. And when you're risking 1% to 2%, who cares if you lose one, right? So for me, the stress had always been just, I want to be right. I want to be right. I want to be right. And so if I took a profit here and it doesn't hit my initial, like if I just take one, then I'm not right? Even though I won the trade, I wouldn't be right because I didn't follow my plan. And that's what it's all about, is having a plan and following it. There we go. Got it. Cool. Another one for the books there. Another trade set. Now this may keep going, right? But yeah, having a plan, that's what trading's about. Having a plan, sticking to the plan, and then fine-tuning the plan with the data that you've collected. I see all this garbage about, I'm green on the day, green is good. It's such bullshit, man, because if you didn't trade your plan and you just happen to be green on the day, you didn't follow rules, you just happen to be green, and so you made some money today, that's not good. Who gives a shit, right? I can drive drunk and go, oh, I didn't get in a car accident, right? I made it home safely, that's good. Well, no, the fact that you drove drunk makes you an asshole. It's the same thing in trading. It's like, just because you made some money on the day doesn't mean anything. If you didn't follow your rules, if you didn't follow your process, then who cares if you made money on the day? I don't give a shit about that. I want to have my plan. I want to have my process. That's more important to me. So having a plan, and then if I have a plan and follow my process and I'm red on the day, I don't care about that either. I'm not going to be stressed out about losing money on the day if I knew I followed my plan. And I think a lot of it just comes down to people who are really inexperienced at life. Maybe they've never done, like I've run my own business before. I owned my own business for over a decade. I worked in the music industry, and everything was about process, everything. Working with clients, I had processes set up to keep me going. And without those processes, I just would have been crushed under the weight of all the pressure of things that need to be done on a consistent basis. So for me, it was all about developing processes. And when I hear, I just want to have a green day, like that's an idea. It's not a process. What the hell is that even? Just, okay. Like, who cares? Who cares? So you made $5 on the day, so that's a green day, so that's good. No, it's all about following the process. At least that's my opinion. People focus on the profits, but they need to focus on the process. I do not see a lot going on here. It's a Friday, not expecting much. Man. Yeah, if you have a process, you can make changes to refine that process. If you have a very specific process, it's like, driving to work. If you take a different path, a different, way to work every single day, and you're going, God, I want to have a more consistent path, a more consistent drive time. I don't know, sometimes it takes me 15 minutes to get to work. Sometimes it takes me an hour to get to work. Well, it's like, well, yeah, because you drive a different path every single day. Of course you're going to have varying results. You got to drive one path, and then, if there's little spots of traffic, maybe you can get off the freeway. I mean, I drove in LA traffic for years, right? So you learn little shortcuts like, okay, I got to get off the freeway here, take a couple side streets, and that's going to knock another 10 minutes off my time. LA traffic fucking sucks, man. I've been stuck in there where it's like 5-mile drive, takes me 2 hours. So you learn the shortcuts, but you have to know what you're doing. You got to know where you're going. And I think with trading, people are taking it. I was doing this too. I was taking a different path every time I trade. So now I'm going to take the same path, right? I'm going to take my 2-to-1 profit to loss. I'm only going to take trades that I can identify easily, that I can mark, that I can label, that I can research. And then after I have that all set up, then I can look at that and go, okay, how can I improve this? How can I take little shortcuts to make this better? But if you're doing something different every single day, you're going to have a real hard time. This is what I do. I just continually scan over and over. I've only got 4 stocks that I'm scanning through, but again, the opportunity for the big money. The opportunity for the big payoff. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for it now. Maybe not even in a few years from now. I'm in no rush. I know what it's like to grind, to put your nose down and just grind it out for years. That's fine. But I'm trying to build strategies that I can make real money off of. I'm not interested in a couple $100 a day. There's a lot of other jobs you can do to make a couple $100 a day that are way easier than this. So 16 cents. I mean, this could have been, $10,000 trade. When you look at how much volume is coming in through here, millions, hundreds of thousands. I mean, you could take some size in it. You can, this is way more size than you can take in a low float stock. Guys can take in 10 or 20,000 shares. You could take 50,000 shares, maybe even 100,000 shares, a couple 100,000 shares. It's 1.3 million just in this area right here. There's 1 million. So that 1.1, that's almost 2 million combined. 2.3, 3.1, 4.4, 5. It's like 5 million shares in this little area right here. Right? You can take 100,000 shares if you have the capital to back it. Opportunity for big money. That's why I trade the big boy stocks. A lot of these chat room guys say, oh, you can't trade those stocks, they're so hard. And it's just, okay, yeah, it's hard if you don't have a chat room to push your stocks around. If I had a chat room and I said, oh, I'm getting here on GE, I can have my whole chat room buying shares. It's not gonna really do much, right? If this is a low float stock and there's only like a million shares, and I tell people I'm buying, and all my chat room starts buying and drives up the price, and I can get out really quick and easy. Yeah, those stocks, that's an easier stock to trade if you have a chat room backing you. I do not. No chat room backing me here. Got to do this shit all on my own. I wish I would have known then what I know now, as far as just, I would have saved myself so much money on trading education, trying to take shortcuts, learning somebody else's system, trying to take a shortcut, learning somebody else's system that they're pushing, that they're making profits. It's my little rant. I'll go on for a second. These guys, they piss me off because they're taking advantage of people who need to make a couple $100 a day, you know, need to feed their family, need to do whatever they can, and they may be struggling or hurting, and these guys come in and say, oh, you just take my course, you're gonna make this money, and follow me, do what I do. And it's like, it just pisses me off, man. It's predatory marketing. Oh, look how I took $500 and turned it into 100,000. The only reason you do that is for marketing. The only reason you do that is because you're trying to sell a course, and you want to put it in people's heads that they can take $500. Maybe they can't turn it into 100,000, but maybe they can turn it into 50,000. Maybe they can turn it into 10,000, right? They can do it in a couple weeks or a couple months. So the only reason you do those small account challenges, when you do that stuff, is you're trying to market your product to people who are maybe less, I don't know, educated as far as the stock market is concerned, who don't really know. That's why I just have a really, you know, I worked in the music industry for 18 years, and I just fucking hate people who try to take advantage of people, man. It just irritates me. I've seen it happen so many times, and there's nothing worse. I just hate people like that, and I see that a lot in these chat rooms. Oh, look, I made $5,000 today. Look, I did this, I did that. Okay, cool. You have a chat room that is buying the stock after you buy it, dude. What the fuck do you think is gonna happen? I mean, that's what happens. Supply and demand. People buy a stock, it goes up. So, and then you sell it. Like, it's, you know, of course you're making money. And the sad thing is they're making more money off their education. I've done the math on some of these, and the amount of money that some of these guys are making off their trading education, millions. I'm talking millions. I just want to trade. Just want to be the best trader out there. See what we got. Not a lot of excitement. Just scanning through the stocks, not seeing a lot of setups. So the thing with trading, you just gotta learn to be laser focused. I mean, I'm just staring at been almost 45 minutes of just click, 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 and laser focus, right? No other option. Just looking at VWAP. I mean, this is, what is this right here? Let me pull this back in, see what I have. Just keep scanning through. All right, so I don't really see, not a lot going on. It's Friday. Like I said, I wasn't expecting much. Although, the interesting thing on Fridays is sometimes I have just crazy Like, so on average, maybe, I don't know, 2 to 20 stocks will show up on my scanners for my settings. But there's been a couple Fridays where it'll be like over 100 will show up, like, and I'm scanning for volume and volatility. So every now and then on a Friday, I'll get this like crazy volume volatility. I don't even know what to do with it. I don't even trade it because it's kind of an outlier. You know, I don't trade outliers unless you really know what you're doing. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and go over yesterday's trades. Let's see what I got here. Let me bring this over. 1 minute over here, 5 minute chart. So this was interesting. I mean, it's funny because now looking hindsight, right? You know, technical analysis is so easy after the chart has been formed, but doing stuff in real time, different story. So let me see on. There's that one. Yeah. So let's look at MNK first. Let me pull over. What is today? Today's the 5th. Let me see here. Okay, so let me go back to the 4th. Okay, cool. All right. So this is what I was seeing yesterday. I got in. The reason I got in was this huge volume. I mean, huge volume. But one thing I've been noticing, and I'm working on that, you're going to hear me, I'm going to sound like a broken record, man, but the probabilities. What are the probabilities, right? What's the statistical edge in every trading strategy, every trading setup, whatever it is that you want to do? What's the probability? If you don't know the probability, don't trade it. And that's why I'm not trading any of these, right? This is why this is all paper trading, because I don't have those probabilities figured out. And the crazy thing I've noticed, because I've seen a lot of videos, it seems like most of these guys don't have probabilities figured out. It's just something like seems like it's worked and it's kind of whatever. Like me, no. And I understand my method is going to be a lot more work. It's going to be a lot more difficult, you know, to figure out these probabilities, to figure out even what probabilities to gather. You know, what's the probability when, you know, the VWAP's up here, this is a certain percentage away from the VWAP. What's the probability of it going back up to the VWAP? Like all that stuff I need to figure out because I want to be the best trader, right? I don't want to be amateur. You know, I want to be the Tom Brady of trading. I mean, that's why I'm up at 4 o'clock every morning. That's why I'm doing what I do. That's why I spend hours every day doing this. I'm not looking for a couple $100 a day. You know, that's I've already done that. You know, so the probability of this type of trade came in. I bought it right here because of this big volume. It came down, huge volume. It wasn't able to go any further. So you can see the volume spike here, flatlined, and then if you look over here, so let's see, where's that at? Right here, and then just tanked. So that's another stat I'm looking at, right? When I see a strong downward move right here, comes over, it gets stuck with high volume. What I've noticed, and again, you notice things in trading, you notice things in technical analysis, you notice things, but how do you take what you've noticed and actually turn it into a viable, profitable trading strategy, right? So I've noticed that sometimes when you have this huge volume in a narrow range candle like this, if it can't go back up, a lot of times that volume can reverse. What do you got? You have everyone who bought here, they realize, oh shit, it's not going up, and they all start selling. And what happens? That's the psychology behind it, right? So psychology is hugely important, not only your personal psychology, but the psychology of the charts. Let me do this real quick. Hold on just a second. Let me take some notes here. Okay. So the chart psychology, right? You have your own personal psychology, and then you're looking at the chart psychology. So what's the chart psychology right here? Everyone's selling. Coming down here, reaches here, this is one of two things. Either people are taking profits or people are buying. Most likely, maybe just people are taking profits, right? So they're buying it back as other people are trying to sell it. And then you got people like me going, oh, cool, man, it must be coming back up. Well, so I buy. Hold on a second, this phone going off here. So I buy. And then what happens? What's the psychology? Everyone who bought here, what happens? Oh shit, it's not going up. Price isn't going up. And what everyone who bought, right? And I'm talking who took an active buy, not a passive buy. So a passive buy is when you're buying back shares you've already sold. An active buy is you're brand new into the market. You're getting in. So anyways, so I bought, and I realized it's not going up. What do? I sell, just like a lot of other people. That's probably what happened, and then tanked the price. So I noticed these candles right here with this volume, if it doesn't move its way back up, a lot of times what will end up happening is it can tank further. That might be a viable trading strategy right there. Still got to work on the stats, but that's what I'm looking at. Let's go into GLW. So one of the things I've noticed is when they have this strong green candle, what do I mean by strong? Well, first, it's a wide range, very wide range, right? So if you look at, let me just scroll this over a little bit. So this was yesterday's opening candle, right? Look how narrow that is. That's a 10-cent range. This is 45-cent range. So first off, big range, right? And big volume here compared to this volume. So this was the closing candle volume right here. But if you look at the opening volume, it's only 83,000 shares. So this one opened up with 373,000 shares. So it's really wide, a ton of volume, and what makes it a strong candle is look how close to the top the candle closed, right? So this is what I considered a strong candle. If it closed down here, it'd be weak, and if it closed anywhere in the middle, it's just kind of an average, whatever. So strong candle in the morning, I bet against it. And the reason I bet against it was because of this area right in here. This looked like it could be possibly strong resistance. So another thing in technical analysis is you look at these chart patterns and you think, okay, cool, there's resistance, I'm going to sell them. But here's where probabilities come into play. If this is a strong green candle, what's the probability that this resistance up here isn't going to matter as much? And that's something that those are kind of the probabilities that I'm working on. Just taking notes here. So you have the probability of, hey, stock's coming up into a former area, it was consolidated, kind of moved up. Next day, it gapped way below all this, and it shot up, and it kind of found, it met, this area might be possible resistance now. So that's one, analytic you have to look at. But then the other one is this right here, right? This strong volume pushing it up. So what's the probabilities? If I see a strong candle, strong green candle in the morning, what are the probabilities that's going to make another sharp move down? I don't have those figured out. That's what I'm working on, right? So if I can look at a probability and go, hey, I see this kind of candle, I know there's a 70% chance that this stock is going to close green on the day, just based off this first candle. If I know that, then am I going to short? No. Because if I know there's a good strong probability of it closing green, I'm going to be looking to go long. Right? So that's when you take technical analysis and you add it in with probabilities. Because technical analysis, like I said earlier, gets you part of the way there. So if you go and you look, okay, cool, looks like it, that's technical analysis. I'm looking at a technical spot on the chart where there might have been support or resistance, but this candle right here, which isn't really any, it's just one candle, right? But sometimes when you have a stock that opens with big volume, right, and big volatility, right, it's from, it closed around 35 and it opened 35.19, so it's a decent sized gap. It's not a huge gap, but it did gap, and it gapped completely outside of this day's range, right? So this was this day's range, and it gapped way down here with a lot of volume. So that in and of itself may be some kind of a predictor. And then you have this strong green candle, and so one of the things I'm running stats on is this exact thing, exact setup, right, where it gaps down, has a strong long big range green candle. What are the probabilities that this stock is going to close green on the day? And if that's a high probability that it's going to close green on the day, I'm going to get rid of short trades on these type of stocks. I mean, that part of trading is just eliminating the crap that doesn't work. So if I know, hey, look, I saw a strong green candle, has a bunch of volume, there's a, like I said, 70% chance or whatever it is that this stock is actually going to close green on the day, I'm not going to sell that stock. I'm not going to be looking for I'm going to try to look for something else. Maybe I'll look for places to buy. You know what I mean? So if I knew that stat, if I knew, and I don't, but again, let's just say for argument's sake that I did the stats, I've run the probabilities on that, and I know, hey, this stock right here has a 70% chance of closing green. Instead of selling, what would I be looking to do? I would be looking to buy. Where would I be looking to buy? Right here. Why? Because this is where the area of congestion was, and that's where it broke, right? You had this tight area, and then price broke away from that area. So I'm thinking, hey, this would be a good area to buy. And as the stock came down, this area, look, that would have been a great area to buy. Again, it's hindsight, kind of got to take it for what it is. I already know this is here, but I do honestly think if I was just looking at this area of the chart, let's say I couldn't see any of this, I would think this might be a good buying area only because price made a strong break from that. It consolidated and really broke hard. So I do think, even though I can see the whole chart, I do think that I would have probably set a buying area if I understood the probability of what this initial candle meant or means. So anyways, that's what I'm looking at. Not much going on. I think I'm going to pretty much call it a day. I do, I've been making these live videos now for a couple of days, or at least posting them. I mean, I made them before that, but posting them on YouTube. And if you're out there and you're listening, I have no idea. I don't know. I'd love to hear from you, basically. Just putting it out there bluntly. If you found any help in these videos, or you want, number one reason I'm making these videos is for my own benefit, right? I want to be able to look at my trades. I want to be able to look at my psychology. I want to be able to look at what I was doing, why I did it. And I'm going to be doing this for years, right? I wish I would have started doing this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but I just, I don't know. I've made videos before. I never posted them. I don't know. I feel like now that I'm doing it on YouTube, it forces me to do it more often, I'm just, because once I say I'm going to do something, I do it. So now that I've said I'm going to post videos every day, it's like, oh crap, now I got to do it. So I'm posting these to really gain insights in my own mind, being able to look back and trade. But the second thing is I really want to collaborate with people. I'd love to find like-minded people who are just, I have the attitude, I'm just going to put my nose to the grind. I'm going to figure this out. If it takes a year, it takes 2 years, it takes 10 years, I don't care. This is now my career decision. I've already made the choice. It's done. It's a done deal. So I'm not there yet, but I'm going to get there. And if I would love to find other people who are in that same boat where they're just like, hey man, this is what I'm doing. I don't care. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to get there. I'm going to grind it out. So I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment, Just say, what's up? Hey, Rich. Whatever. Ask me a question. It'd be cool to collaborate with you. It'd be cool to get to know you. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to call it a day.